Hello, my fellow Americans. How are we doing today? Today is the beautiful holiday of Valentine's Day. So I wish you all a happy belated Valentine's Day. I hope you guys all felt loved upon, whether it was from your SO, your girlfriends, your pets. If nobody reached out to you for Valentine's Day, I'm sorry that you're lonely. That must suck. Couldn't be me. So yeah, hope that's all in well. I like to make an announcement. I was going to do a drum roll again, but I did that last video, so I can't do that bit again. I started a new book series. I was in a book hangover with ACOTAR. And I know that there were like other books like Throne of Glass, Fourth Wing, that one book, Onyx Storm. I'm not sure if that's like part of a series. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was like a lot of like fantasy stuff online talk that I heard about. But as I've said previously, like I feel very sus actually about recommendations from people online, because I can't get over that Colleen Hoover. Like, you guys just hyped her up so much, and then it was just like her books, I did not like them, and then now all this shit coming out with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is just kind of funny. And you know what? That's what Colleen Hoover gets for writing not the best books, in my opinion. So I've been on a hunt for a new book for ACOTAR, and I know Sarah J. Maas, the author of ACOTAR. She has lots of other books, and I've toyed with the idea of maybe delving into its others, but I was just like, well, no, I don't want to be disappointed, because I really like ACOTAR, and I was just like, well, I don't want to be disappointed and go try her other books and then just be like, but it's not A Court of Thorn and Roses. And so yeah, I just started reading the other books, The Nightingale, which I'm working through that one. I'll either read a book in like 2 days or in a full month, but I'm like halfway through, and I'm really liking it. I do enjoy a good historical fiction, but I am now like, I feel like it's heating up. Like, again, I'm only about halfway through, maybe like 40% of the way through. But anyways, so the other day I was at work, and then one of the girls that comes to the gym, she had a shirt that said "Hot Girls Read Books." And I was like, yes, they do. And so I stopped and I was like, hey, I like your shirt. And then I asked her what kind of book she's into. And then she said fantasy romance, which I mean, I feel like that's what we're all reading, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm glad that reading is a trend. This is a trend that I can get behind. I love that. But I would like more book recommendations that are not into like the fantasy fairy smut. I'm not hating on that category. I love it just as much as the other bitch. Don't get me wrong. I love that. But I also like other stories too. But anyways, so and she's like, I was like, yeah, me too. I was like, I've recently gotten back into it with ACOTAR. And then I just told her, I've been having like a series hangover, and I'm just waiting for like something else, but I also don't want to be like, go into it with the expectations of that, like, oh, it's going to be like ACOTAR. Anyways, and then she ended up recommending Throne of Glass. She's like, have you read Throne of Glass? I was like, I have not. And I was like, isn't that by the same author? And she said, yes. And then I was just like a little bit hesitant. She's like, it's really good. I really like the storyline. And she's like, I liked it better than ACOTAR. And then hearing her say that, I was like, oh, shall I? And then the next day I started, and then I am doing it on Spotify, like I'm listening to it audiobooks. And okay, sorry, my camera battery died. I was 5 minutes into recording, and then she died, so I had to go run and get new batteries because I had none on deck. So try being a content creator for a day. It's hard. I had to go all the way to the gas station at the end of my driveway to go get batteries. And then I rewarded myself with a little treat because I debated having a treat, and I was like, I don't always need a fun bevy, but that's clearly a joke. I always need to have a fun bevy on hand. And also, so where was I? This girl. Damn, I'm trying to recollect. Is it recollect or recollect? Everything that I had said. I'm pretty sure I'd already mentioned. Anyways. Long story short, this girl at the gym recommended Throne of Glass. Oh, yeah. I had told her that. She said she liked it better than ACOTAR. And so I started it today. I mean, hello? Hey. Hello? Okay. I think I'm here. So I started it on, I think she recommended it, was it on Tuesday? Or was it yesterday? She recommended it Wednesday, and then I started it yesterday. And also, I was watching back my old video, or the last video, and I was wearing a hoodie. I pull it forward lots. I don't wear hoodies a lot. I prefer crew necks because I hate feeling like it's like going back and choking me. Ugh, it drives me insane. But I had to wear something pink today. And it's the pink hoodie from my old podcast. One of the girls, she got us all matching hoodies. And I love the color, but I'm just not a hoodie girl. So forgive me if I'm just always yanking up on it. Okay. Anyways, so I started reading it and I love it so much. I'm into it. I genuinely I'm on chapter 14 or 15, and I think I might like Zelena. Is it Zelena? Zelena. I always want to say Zulema because that's my sister-in-law's name, and I always want to say Zulema, but I think it's Zelena. I like her. She's like an assassin, and she's really cool. And I'm into it, and I am ecstatic because there's 8 books in this series. And the other day when I was thinking about the podcast, also I have a name for my podcast. It's called Half Serious, and then underneath with Ruthie. So I'll come back to that anyway. Anyways, that's the name of my podcast segment. It's Half Serious, because sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm saying things. If I say something like blah, 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 it's half serious, like it or not. Anyways, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? It was about Throne of Glass. I like her. I like the main character. I have no idea where that was going. Frick! I know there was something I wanted to say. One thing I like about this main character is she seems to like nice clothes, and I really like that. I like when a main character likes nice clothes, and she likes jewelry, and she likes that kind of thing. Because I've noticed that there's definitely a trope going on where it's just like a peasant girl or a peasant orphan gets kidnapped into a rich man, by a rich man, or a king, or she's living in a palace, and she doesn't want to wear the gowns, and she doesn't want the jewels, and she just wants her ratty leather fighting clothes or hunting clothes, and bitch, wouldn't be me. But yeah. Oh, I know what I was thinking. The other day when I was thinking about my podcast, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't talk about books so much, because I think every single episode I have talked about books. And then I was like, well, yes, I can, because first of all, it's something that I love very, very much. And if you don't want to listen to me talk about books, that's fine. I'm just going to assume you're an illiterate fuck and you don't know how to read and you're embarrassed. Or you just aren't into reading books, that's fine too. But that is something people are I don't like reading. I genuinely cannot grasp that. But yeah, so I'm not sorry that I'm talking about books once again. But I have started reading Throne of Glass, and I really, really like it, and I will keep you updated. Another book that has fallen into my lap is my friend's son. He was doing Life of Pi. He had in his class, they had to read the book and do whole projects and whatnot on it. And he ended up hating the book, and I was like, that's kind of heartbreaking because the movie's fantastic. But then he dropped off the book Life of Pi. about a week or so ago, and I haven't gotten to it yet because I am literally reading 2 books right now and listening to Throne of Glass, and then I will start Life of Pi once I'm done with Nightingale or Nightingale. I always forget. It's the bird. But yeah, so that's been my book update. Thank you for asking. Yeah, what else? Today's Valentine's Day, hence the pink. I had to wear pink. I have some steak out there. I say out there, it's over on my counter, but you can't see it, duh. But my husband and I were just going to cook steak tonight. He requested macaroni and cheese. I hate mac and cheese. But I said I will make some for him. But I said he has to sit down and eat the entire pan tonight. So we'll see if he does. But so yeah, we're going to do steak, and then he wants I'm going to make a mac and cheese bake. I'm not going to do that viral TikTok. Was it Teeny? She's so cute. I really like her. But I never or the little videos that I have watched of her, she seems really cool. But excuse me. But I know she had a mac and cheese recipe that went viral. Not making that one. I'm just doing one off of Pinterest. Also, Pinterest, what the I made it. You know what? What the frick, Pinterest? What the frick? Why? I feel, like Pinterest is an ad every other time. And that's just really, 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 really annoying, because Pinterest is where you go to daydream, where you go to not scrapbook, because it's not scrapbooking at all, but it's where you go to create different vision boards or just different boards for different things. And now it's just all ads, and it's stupid. And it used to be you could put in the search bar, put in something, and then you would just have endless hours of what it was. And now it's just maybe 10 pins that have to do with what you're looking for, and then it just disappears, and it's just advertisements and ugly things, and it's really, really annoying. So whoever's behind Pinterest, can you please do something about it? I really like Pinterest because it's online magazines. I love magazines. Nova, hey, that is not, stop it. Do you want to come say hi? This is my cat, Nova. She's camera shy. Bye. Don't claw, okay? Now I have hair all over me. Hi. What was I saying? Pinterest. Oh yeah, it's online magazines, and it feels which actually I feel in paper magazines also are just getting more and more advertising and advertisement. Everything's for sale, and I don't really like that. And I'm going to sit here and complain about all the ads and stuff, but my goal is to get monetized and have ads on my page. Back to my podcast name. Yes, it's called Half Serious. For those of you who you can, maybe I just posted it on my YouTube, the desktop, or not the desktop, the banner, is it? And I just did it with the header or the banner, and I just put down Half Serious because that is the name of my podcast, and then it's Half Serious with Ruthie, and then I do want to have guests on and stuff, and contrary. Why do I not know how to pronounce any flippin' word? That's so annoying. But, oh well. I think it's contrary. Contrary to popular, or is it contrary? Contrary.
Contrary.
Oh, contrary. Oh. Contrary to what I said the previous episode, when I said, if you ever see anybody on the podcast, that means I don't love them. I do. I at least like them. But you will never see my, you will never see my nieces and my nephews. My husband, maybe. But you will never see my nieces and my nephews and any of my siblings. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. contrary to what I said, I do want to have people on and have friends on and just to like goof around or talk about things and whatnot and do more of that. So stay tuned for that. I'm still waiting for when my friend Raina comes on. We had planned again, like a couple weeks ago, she was going to come on a Friday, and then we ended up just yapping way too long. So we didn't have time to record. And then since then, our schedules just haven't aligned. And I mean, it's definitely, I'm a busy girl and her work's been going so late, but I do hope sometime within the next 2 or 3 months that I can get her on and maybe just have more people on to shoot the breeze with me. But yes, my podcast name is Half Serious, and the reason I landed onto it is because it was my favorite one that ChatGPT suggested. Got him. There's no deep meaning. I mean, I think the reason it really resonated with me is because I enjoy talking about serious topics and serious subjects. I definitely haven't delved in yet. I know I want to do an episode where I sit down and talk about Rumspringa, because in that one podcast where I was talking about a little bit, I just like mouth spewed. And I did not articulate at all what I was trying to say. So I do want to sit down and do like a full video, not necessarily like even my experience with Rumspringa, because I feel like aside from getting drunk every weekend, I had a very mild experience. Like I think I had a very... I've considered myself lucky to be alive, but I do think overall, like I had a quite... maybe just a lucky or a minor experience with Rumspringa. And I just want to like sit down and talk about like how I view it now that it's like almost 10 years that I'm out of it, and just, yeah. But anyway, so the podcast, Half Serious with Ruthie, and my tagline is where introspection meets random tangents, because that's like, again, like I do love like being introspective, talking about like things that matter, although one might argue so far I haven't talked about anything that matters. You know what? I saw a video a couple weeks ago, and it was talking about like the wrinkles that you get from sucking on a straw. And you know how like some old ladies, when they purse their lips, they just have like wrinkles all around? And guys, I think I have those because I've had water bottles since I worked in the factory, which was since I was 18, like 10 years. I've just been on a straw, and you just can't win. And you know what? I'm gonna get wrinkles anyway, but at the same time, I'm slightly scared about that. Anyways, so it's Half Serious with Ruthie, where introspection meets random tangents. And you guys also know I go on random tangents all the time. That's literally like the point of my podcast, I think, is to just go on random tangents. But I would like to, as it progresses, and as I get like better and better with like articulating my thoughts, and I get better with speaking, I don't say like as much, or I've noticed another thing I say a lot is stuff like that. And as I get better at speaking and articulating what I mean and talking to a camera, I would like to introduce deeper subjects and topics, but then also still have space to just be silly and goofy, because I think it's so important to allow for life to have those moments. But yeah, so that is my podcast title, and I really like it. And again, I have to give ChatGPT its credit. I'm giving Chat. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm gonna go close the door. I opened the door and it's actually really cold in here. Oh, my cat's outside. Never mind. Oh, she's playing in the snow. Okay, she's inside. BRB. I really need to stop distracting myself mid-set. I need a crew member. My crew member is not here. He's getting his hair cut. But I was talking. Oh, yeah. I'm going to share some of the other names that ChatGPT came up with me. Some of them were like very like more funny, but I was like, but I don't want something that's just funny. He also had a lot of like name suggestions that went like with me being Amish, and while they were funny, I didn't want them because I was like, I don't want to be tied to that part of my identity. Like, yeah, being Amish is always going to be a part of me, but I don't want the name of my podcast to like tie into that. Not like I'm trying to hide it. I value that part of me, but you know what I mean. Okay, so this is just literally... Okay, so one of them was Ruthless Curiosity, Ruthie's Karen, Drift with Ruthie. And then I was just like, I actually don't think that I want a name with a podcast name with my name in it. I feel like I would get very tired of it. And then also, like, if I would, like, go expand my brand or, like, open up another venture, I don't think I would want my name... I don't know, maybe I'll change my name. But that was just like my... like my way of thinking. Another one was Ruthie and the Chaos, Ruthie versus the world, but I don't really like that because I don't feel like I'm against the world. I mean, I think in a way I am, but it's also like I'm not trying to fight. Ugh. Ruthie Interrupted, Ruthie's Rhythms, which is actually like I have no rhythm. Actually, do I? No. The Ruthie Riff, Rolling with Ruthie, Ruthie's Paradox. Okay, that was just a lot with my name. What were I need to find the ones that he came up with that were kind of funny. Plain and simple. But yeah, number 6 on that list was Half Serious. I really like that. Another, From Amish to Zesty. That's funny. Rumspringa Forever, Ex-Amish and Extra, Out of the Bonnet, brother, no. From Chores to Chaos, that was kind of funny. Holy Schnitz, Beyond the Butter Churn. Like, they're all, like, kind of funny, but they just didn't really resonate, except for, and then Half Serious. Like, I just came back to Half Serious, and, like, I would also, like, I tried to come up with more, and I just, like, yeah, came back, so... It's Half Serious with Ruthie. So that's my new, that is not my new, that is the podcast name. But yeah, so I'm glad I finally got that figured out. It was a journey for sure. And I did have it last week on last week's podcast. I was going to announce it. And then I was doing like the drum roll for a while, and like I started the drum roll and I was going to like announce that I have the name. And then like halfway through the drum roll, it's like I actually want to like explore a little bit more and see what I can come up with. So I ended up not. So I'm doing it now today. But yeah. Oh man, dude, last week we went to a birthday party and it was so fun. I haven't seen like it was like one of my husband's friends, and I haven't seen that group of friends in such a long time, and it was just so nice to see everybody. And so, and it was a Mexican birthday party, and as you know, there's always music, there's always dancing, and it was just so fun that night because the couple, they ended up getting a band to come and play, and they played from 9 to 12, and I just danced my butt off all night, and it was I loved it so much. I am just finding like, I just consider myself so lucky to be allowed to dance and to enjoy dancing without like feeling like I'm being wrong or like I'm being naughty. And I just think it's so beautiful that my children are going to grow up and they're going to be allowed to express themselves by dance, through dance, to know that music and dancing and like that kind of joy is just such a beautiful part of life. And I hope like I'm like, it's something that I will not take for granted ever. And I'm just so happy that my children are going to be in a place where they can take it for granted. Like dancing and music is going to be like second nature to them. And that just makes me so happy. because like as you guys know, like I growing up there was no music, and we didn't even have musical instruments. Like in our church district, like you weren't allowed to have like pianos or guitars or harps or any. I think you were allowed to have a harmonica. And then whenever like there was any kind of like gatherings within the community, if there was singing, like if there was music, it was just singing. It was all a cappella. I do think now that the rules have loosened up a little bit, like again, it was just my district that didn't allow instruments, but I do know that there's now like more and more people that they will play like guitars and sing around the campfires, and I just think that is so sweet. But yeah, and then I was first introduced to like dancing was like at parties, and then like Amish parties weren't parties. Like, yeah, there was music blaring, but then there was like never a dance floor. Occasionally, if there was a dance floor, like the girls that were dancing, it was just like, myself included, I was saying this too, because that's what I was taught. It was just like, she's a slut. She just wants attention. Like, why is she moving her body like that? It was just never a good thing if like you were dancing. And unless you were like at a concert, and even then the dancing wasn't just like dancing, it was jumping up and down and stuff, and like dancing was just never a part of my life. And I remember as I got older, once I was 18, we would go to Michigan. They have a little bar called Cowboy Up, and so I would go in there, and I just remember like I would just always like, instead of really socializing with anybody, 9 times out of 10 I would just sit there around the dance floor and just watch people dancing. And I was just always like, I wish that could be me. I was just so envious and jealous. Like, maybe not envious, because there was like nothing really like harmful behind it, but I was just like, man, like I wish that could be me. Like, to just like, everybody just looks so free and sexy, and the way they were moving with the music, I was like, I wish that could be me, and it just never was. And then, so yeah, that was just, like, that was literally my life until I met. And then I did go to a teen club in Chicago once before I was 21. Oh my gosh, trying to sober dance. And then there would be boys coming up behind you and just putting them, like, their front parts on your butt, and I had no idea how to dance and crying. I was just like, get off of me. That was actually traumatizing. I ended up just sitting at the table the rest of the night. I was like, get thee behind me, Satan. I do not want your pee-pee on my butt. I don't even know you. And I was just like, people do this? Like, what? So yeah, needless to say, I tried to get on the dance floor one time, and then I went back to the table like that. I was appalled that boys come up to a strange girl that they don't know, and they try to like touch her and stuff. I was just like, anyways, so, and then that would have been my experience. Like, and whenever I would be at like Cowboy Up, even after I was 21 and stuff, and I had like the liquid courage, I was just never had the ball to get out there and dance. And even at like, if I would be invited to an English person's wedding, I was never on the dance floor, and I was just always like, oh. And I love the dancing movies. I would, when I was young, like when they finally got a DVD player and they were gone weekends, I would sneak the DVD player and just like watch all the movies where the people were dancing. And I always just had such a longing to be able to do it, and now I can. And don't get me wrong, it definitely still takes me about 2, maybe 3 tequila shots before I feel loose enough, because like I think there's still a part of me that's just like, oh my gosh, everybody's gonna be watching me. No, they're not. Like, they're not going to be watching you and scrutinizing you and picking you apart. And if they are, like, that's their problem. Like, actually, fuck them. Like, it's their problem. Like, they're not the ones out there on the dance floor. And I also know, like, my experience from watching with people, it was never like watching with like judgmental eyes. It was always just like, oh, it's just so beautiful. And I just like love when people are dancing. And like, you rarely see somebody dancing with a sour expression on their face, like looking pissed off. Like, you can. But anyways, so now that that's just one thing I'm so grateful for with my husband's culture, is when there's a party, there's always music, and there's always dancing. And yeah, just I would say this past year especially is when I've just like, because my husband would ask me to dance and I'd just be like, no, I'm too shy, I'm too nervous. And he was also like, he's shy and nervous, like go out dancing. And so we would like just practice sometimes here at home. And then, but it's also like, just as time grew, I was like, especially the older I get, I was like, I am not going to be the person outside the dance floor looking in for the rest of my life. Like, what the heck? And dancing is actually so fun. So I'm just super grateful that that's something that I do now have in my life. And then like last Saturday, that was just my favorite part about that birthday party is my husband and I, we were dancing with like all of our friends, and it's just such a beautiful, joyful experience, and I am so grateful that I have that in my life. And yes, I don't know how to dance the way other people do, but like that's okay. Like, you don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to be a certain way to dance. You just have to like get out there and have fun. And like, even like when you're watching the dance floor, even if somebody like they're just like off for them, they're usually having fun. And if somebody's out there having fun, it's just, I don't know, it just makes me so happy and so excited to get to have that in my life and just do more parties. So, and then also, like, that being said, I want to I want to like low-key, I think I want to join like a dancing class. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but I would love to like join one of that. And maybe like, yeah, I don't know if it would be like a salsa or like a cumbia. That would be really cool too, but cumbia really intimidates me. Like, whenever I see people dance that, I'm just like, you're hot, but I don't know if I could do that. Or if I want to do something more that's just like slower and more like sensual kind of movement. But yeah, that's something I do want to incorporate in my life. And again, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I'm definitely in the middle of a transition right now, so I won't be adding anything to my plate. But again, I do get to partake in dancing, and I'm so happy that I get to do that. It's just a little thing that I'm grateful for. But yeah, if any of you girls out here locally know of like a good dance studio or whatever, or you would want to do like sign up for a class or so with me, let me know. That would be so fun. And yeah, so I have found myself not knowing what I want to talk about. Guys, tomorrow I'm going to go thrifting. Also, I promise you, I'm going to get better at like going from one conversation to the next. Hold on. Let me go look at my podcast topics just so that I have a loose idea of what I could talk about. Oh, I know at one point today I was talking about, audiobooks and podcasting. I'll get back to that in a little bit. But what I was going to say is I am going to go thrifting tomorrow, and I am so excited for it. I had planned. Okay, so last year I went in the spring, and then my friend and I had planned to go in the fall and also take her son, and then those plans ended up falling through. I think something came up for one of us. I'm not quite sure. And I have not gone thrifting since. And so my sister-in-law, she turned 30 in February. Actually, it's my sister-in-law that's really good at wrapping gifts. She turned 30 in February. And so my mom, my sisters, my sister-in-laws, and then my niece, my one little niece, I'm so glad she's coming with us. We're going to go shopping, and we're going to go thrifting, actually. So we're going to go up to Niles, and whenever we go thrifting with my mom and my sisters, because I am the one with the internet, I always Google all the thrift shops, consolidate them, make a list, and then I just put them in my Google Maps and I map out the route. So we have 9 stores to hit tomorrow, and then we'll also be on the lookout for things that I might have missed. And I'm so excited to go. Just again, it's been so long. I am on the hunt for pants. I need pants, especially jeans. I have 1 pair of jeans, and then I want dresses and skirts. And then also one thing, like it doesn't even count as being on my list because it's just always on my list, is coats and jackets. I think like jackets especially are such an underrated accessory, and I think you can get the coolest jackets at thrift stores. And I like them if they're like a little bit broken in, not looking ratty, but I do like them if they're like a little bit broken in or they have characters. And I just think you can find the coolest jackets at thrift stores. And I think another thing that I am gonna look for is more jewelry. I want to expand my earring collection. And earrings, I am a little bit picky about where I get them with thrifting. Like if they look at all a little bit crusty, I'm not buying them. And then the ones that I do buy, obviously what's the word? I'm gonna say alcoholized, but I know it's not that. Like you clean them with alcohol or peroxide. What is that? What's that word? What is it called when you clean something? Disinfect? Is that what I mean? Like disinfect? Clean. So, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited for steak tonight. I think it's disinfect. I always disinfect it with alcohol or peroxide. But then again, if they even give me a 1% twinge that they're a little bit gross, I don't buy them. But I do, because they've been in somebody's ear hole. But I do want more jewelry, especially like bracelets and maybe more necklaces. And then I have bought earrings before and I love them. I have some like dangly purple ones that I really, really like that I bought at a thrift store, and then some like pearl snowman ones. And then again, like after I disinfected them and everything, like I didn't feel gross. And then one of my friends who comes to the gym, he just bought a house, I think like last year, and he's redoing all of it. And he told me if I find anything musically, like decor wise, like anything with music, then I should get that for him and he'll pay me back. So I'm super excited to like go in with a mission. And then another thing I am looking is for more like glassware, like serving plates, platters, pitchers, cups, just glassware in general, because I love glassware. And then maybe another thing I need is like more end tables, like smaller pieces of furniture. So I will be on the hunt for that. And I'm super excited to go. And even if like, this is my thing with thrifting, like, cause sometimes you can go a whole day thrifting and not find anything. And sometimes you can, like a couple weeks ago, my husband, he dropped me off at the gym and then he went to go get a haircut, and then I was done before his haircut. And so I had time to kill, so I just walked over to like a local thrift store. I had 15 minutes before the store closed, and I ended up finding a pair of low-rise brown trousers, a pinstripe button down, and a green sweater, and then a cute floral skirt for less than, like, altogether they were less than $20. And I was just so happy. And thrifting is like on a treasure hunt. And then again, like if I don't find anything, I don't really care, because I just like the act of going thrifting. And it's like a full day with my mom and my sisters and my sister-in-laws, and then we're also going to stop for lunch for Daaaance's birthday. And it's just the best. And I have been, since we have scheduled this thrifting trip, I have been looking forward to it with all my might. And yeah, this will probably be my only shopping thing I do for like the spring, summer. And then yeah. And then I really want to go this fall because I don't know, there's just something about going thrifting in the fall that's the best. So, and my birthday is in November, so maybe my mom and my sisters are going to be like, let's go thrifting in the fall with Ruthie for her 30th. Guys, I turn 30. I turned 30 this year, but that's okay. That's not until later this year. As of now, I am 29. 29? And I am going to thoroughly enjoy my last year of my 20s. I've had a minor freak out about the fact that I'll turn 30 later this year, but it's okay. I think I'm going to have a big one. But I feel like it's going to come towards the end of the summer. So we're just going to not think about it till the end of the summer. But yeah, so I'm excited to go thrifting, and that'll be a lot of fun. What's your guys' like one of your favorite things that you found while thrifted? Mine to this day still is my oversized brown jacket. That has been I love it. My favorite way to style it is with my mini skirt, pantyhose, knee-high boots, and then a sweater or top of some sort. And then to throw the brown jacket over that. I love to style it like that. I also really like to style it with like my baggy jeans and then a top and then that jacket with then like a pointed toe, because I am still a whore for a pointed toe. And I also like also like styling it with something that's like super girly and then throwing that jacket on top. And I just really love that jacket. And almost every time I wear it, I do get a compliment on it. And I'm like, thanks, I thrifted it. That's also one of my favorite things about wearing things that are thrifted. I'm like, thanks, I thrifted it. And I think it's a really, like, I just love when I see a really cool outfit. And then when you compliment her and she's like, I thrifted it. I'm like, yeah, you're that bitch. I know you are. I love it. And it's just so cool, and it's sustainable. And that's also another thing that I quit a while back was shopping from Shein. And then I just want to not spend my money on like things from Amazon or like just like the shit where it doesn't really matter, you know. Will I quit fully? Probably not, because there's cute stuff on there too, but I just like thrifting. The end. It's like going on a treasure hunt and whatnot. But yeah, so I think this is where I'm going to wrap it up. I know it's a little bit shorter than my previous ones, but I kind of have a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be gone all day, and then Sunday, when this episode goes live, my little brother, his girlfriend is getting baptized in the Amish church, and I'll be over there all day. So we're going to go to her service in the morning, and then it's usually after whomever gets baptized, like after a service, everybody goes over there, to spend the afternoon, and then there's dinner usually. And so yeah, I will be going over there all day Sunday. So yeah, I'm just going to be surrounded by my family all weekend, and I'm so happy. I'm so glad. And yeah, and then after I sign off from here, I want to edit this podcast, get it exported, and also start uploading it. That way I don't have to worry about it. And then I also have dinner to make. And then because of my little sister or my little brother's girlfriend getting baptized on Sunday, and we're going to be going there for dinner, I'm supposed to take a dessert, and I think I'm going to make dirt pudding. Also, is dirt pudding, is that like a Midwest thing? Because but I also don't know or maybe is that just an Indiana Amish thing? Because I was at a wedding a couple weeks ago at my friend in Ohio, and they had dirt pudding for dessert, and I called it that, and one of the ladies was like, that's such an unusual, like, she's never heard it called that, and she's gonna start calling it that from now on. And I was like, oh, I wasn't aware that it's called anything else. But it's like that, where it has like the crushed Oreos, and then it has like the cheesecake Cool Whip pudding mix in the middle, and then you have more crushed Oreos on top. And you know what? That seems to be I need to get, okay. Is dirt pudding a recipe? Oh, I thought it said onions. I was going to say dirt pudding recipe with onions. Who are you, Rachel Green? Is dirt pudding a Midwest recipe? Like Midwest. Where's dirt pudding from? Oh, some people call it dirt cake, dirt pudding. Some people put in gummy worms on top as well, which I think is freaking gross. Yeah, it is a Midwest. I called it. I'm so fucking smart. I'm the smartest person I know. No, I'm not, but I am really smart. It is a Midwest dessert. Classic dirt pudding has no definitive origin in history, except that the layered dessert became popular sometime in the American Midwest during the 1980s. Best Midwest desserts ever. Midwest desserts. Well, we call it Midwest. We call it dirt pudding. Some people call it dirt cake. But yeah, it's a Midwest dessert. Anyways, have you guys ever had it? It's so flippin' good. Maybe I'll film myself making it and then add that to the end of this podcast. Maybe. Don't get your hopes up, but maybe. We'll see how quickly I get it done. But it's actually quite simple. You just crush up Oreos, mix together the pudding, the cream cheese, the Cool Whip, and then you put that over the Oreos, sprinkle the rest of the Oreos on top, and voila, you have a dirt pudding. Don't put gummy worms on top. That's just gross. That's weird. But my Rachel Green comment reminded me of Friends, which then reminded me to I'm rewatching New Girl, and the first time around I didn't like it as much because Jess. Sometimes I love her and sometimes I just want to her. Like sometimes she's just so annoying, but I am enjoying it so much the second time around. And I don't know what the difference is. I think that kind of hurt myself. I think it's because like this time around, I know that Jess is going to be annoying and she annoys me. And therefore like she doesn't get to me as much. But my favorite character is Schmidt. I just love Schmidt so much. I wish I could remember every single thing he says the way he says it, because so many times like he says something and I'm like, I need to put that in my back pocket to save it for when a situation arises, but I haven't watched it enough to where I can just quote it. But I just really like Schmidt. He's my favorite character. And yeah, that's it. I am done with the podcast now today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like my videos. I know you guys are watching it. Please like it. That was pathetic. Yeah, like my videos, subscribe, and let me know if you've ever made dirt pudding ever in your life. All right. I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Again, if you had nobody to celebrate with it, I'm sorry that you're lonely. It's probably a you problem. You should probably work on yourself and be better so people want to be around you. All right. I love you guys. Bye.